Okay, hello again. I just came back from watching Mickey 17. This movie was directed by Bong Joon-ho. If you don't know him, he is mostly known here in the West by directing the movie Parasite, which I agree was a great movie, but a lot of people also don't know of The Host. The Host is another one of his movies that I'm a really big fan of. I actually remember seeing that movie in the early 2000s with my dad. The basic plot behind this movie is you have Robert Pattinson playing as Mickey, and he applies to be an expendable on a ship that's going to be going to a habitable planet. Expendable is just someone that they clone, and basically you can test anything you want on them and then you just reprint them the next day. And they're basically the same person. But overall, it's the same person, just you can die multiple times and there's no real consequences to that. The main character, as he's going on this expedition, apparently it takes 4 years to get to the planet, where he meets a group of characters and he ends up falling in love, and that's how the story begins. Let's start with some of the positives. I really liked Robert Pattinson's whole acting in this movie. I thought it was great. I thought making the main actor kind of a dum-dum and just going with the flow in a ridiculous way was hilarious. The first act of this movie legitimately was amazing. Love the whole idea that you just have this company that's just willing to do whatever the heck they want to someone, and you just have the willing volunteer. He does not care. He just goes with the flow, and basically he doesn't bite the hand that feeds him. And it's fun. It's a fun character, something new, no one really special, but I really appreciated that aspect of the story. It's the production value. You can see, oh, it's beautiful. This movie looks beautiful. Everything feels real. The sets feel like they are there. Everyone is, the way they're dressed, everyone looks like they're playing a character. You know what I mean? Everything looks fantastic. The CGI that's there doesn't look like CGI. Everything, overall, this is a very well-made movie. The editing is fun. The storytelling is fun. I'm not gonna lie, this movie is very funny. There's a lot of very funny moments in this movie that the whole theater was just erupting in laughter. But I'm not gonna lie, guys, I am a little bit disappointed. It's like, it's important to see people as individuals versus numbers. And I just felt like, yeah, no kidding. Instead of conveying its messaging in an articulate, intelligent, and an interesting way, it conveys it in a safe, not really pushing the boundary or interesting way. This is one of those rare movies that as the story goes on, it gets worse. We just got the same old Western schlock storytelling that we're kind of all getting tired of. And I say that very loosely with this movie because there's a lot about this movie that I really liked. I'm not playing. I love this movie in a lot of aspects. But where the story went, and along with the messaging behind it, it was so insanely anticlimactic. I'm not even playing to you guys. It's almost kind of confusing. Like, a lot of characters were forgotten about for no reason. Every time something interesting actually started happening in the story, the movie kind of quickly dismisses it to the side and focuses on something less interesting. It's ethical to be doing, even though you can basically just print him out like nothing happened. You know, like, where is the boundary? Where do you find the boundary of science? And they could have explored that, but they only explored that a little bit. Again, multiples. Multiples are apparently are just two clones living at the same time. Take in mind, there's no consequences to that, apparently. Like, it doesn't affect the clones in any way, physically, mentally. Like, there's nothing like that in this. Apparently, they're perfectly normal and fine. Instead of this company taking advantage of that and creating an entire workforce that they don't really need to give a damn about because they can just kill off and just keep reprinting, instead of doing something with that, you know, doing something with the greed of a company that's willing to do this, and then you have Mickey that doesn't really care what happens to him because he has nothing to lose. What an interesting story. But instead, they're like, the company is like, oh no, there's a rule that we just have to kill all multiples, so let's just go ahead and kill them. And that's it. The company actually apparently follows the law. because that happens. Lackluster again. It was just very disappointing. Instead of going somewhere else with it, they're like, oh yeah, we just need to kill them because apparently multiples a couple years ago went on a killing spree, so therefore we just kill all the multiples, including the host. Would have been interesting to have, you know, have had the company actually discover that they can do multiples instead of just like the movie establishing that you can do it, but no one is really taking advantage of that. I just don't believe that that's something that would happen. So remember, they are 4 years from Earth, so it's not like Earth is gonna do something if they find out that there's multiples on the ship. Whatever. I hate bringing this up, I really do, because I hate just talking about it. There's a lot of politics in this movie. There's a lot of it. There's a lot of it to the point that it really starts to take me out of the movie at some points. And I'm not saying that you can't add politics to a movie. You can, but you have to be careful, because if you go the wrong way about it, it feels like you're just lecturing your audience versus giving your argument or your side of the story and just letting the audience come to their own conclusions. You know, treating your audience like they're actually smart. Believe me, I wanted to like this movie. I really, really did. It wasn't bad. It was just after the halfway point, the movie just fell. The theater was packed, number one. But number two, when it was the ending credits, the entire theater was quiet. Like, just dead silent. And not in a way where everyone was like, oh, wow. It was more of a way like, did we just see that? I was like, I don't know if I like this or I hate this. I'm more in the in-between, so I'm gonna be giving this movie I'll give it a 5 out of 10. 5 out of 10. Sorry. Again, a lot of it I love. The acting was great. A lot of the actors were doing fantastic. It was just where the story went, and along with other things that I just found incredibly just distracting and ruining the immersion of the movie, that really kind of spoiled it for me. I'm probably gonna catch a bunch of slack for saying this, but I really didn't like this movie as much as I thought I would, guys. So, well, you know, it is what it is. It was a really cool concept, just not executed right. Woo! Alright guys, bring it out, bring it on in the comment section below. Leave a like and subscribe on your way there. Anyway guys, thank y'all. I'm actually very excited. I got some early tickets to go see Novocaine. That's actually another movie that I'm really excited to see. So I'll be watching that this weekend, so wait for that review. And I'll see y'all for the next one, guys. Bye!